Hello everyone, if you are new, my name is Marin. Happy October and welcome to another reading vlog. In September, I did weekly vlogs for the entirety of the month, and I am thinking I'm going to continue that into October. If you would like to see the books on my TBR, I will link you to my TBR video up in the cards. I played both Spookopoly and the Escape the Corn Maze game from TBR Harvest, so you can watch that to see how the rolls went and to see what books I'm hoping to get to this month. Looking at all of the books on the TBR, there are 16 total, which is one more than what I managed to read in September. So it is doable, but I'm gonna have to get into gear. I am carrying 2 books over into the month. Those are both Nancy Drew books. I am planning on finishing the one that I started in that vlog in this vlog. To check that off, that would be number 32, which is the Scarlet Slipper Mystery. I am not far enough into that. I'm only like 30 pages into it to even really talk about it. So I will let you know how that goes once I complete it. So I have started listening to the audio of The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I am almost done with this. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and finish it off tonight. I have just a couple of parts left. I am currently on page 222, so I have this much left. Definitely feel like I can knock that out. I don't think I have very much left on the audio. I am not really sure what I think about this. This is being touted as a Jane Eyre retelling, right down to the names that are being used. So Jane is our main character. The guy she is interested in, his name is Eddie Rochester. But I get kind of more Rebecca vibes from this, so it wouldn't surprise me if she took inspiration from both Jane Eyre and Rebecca. And I don't know that I'm loving this. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but the main character is not someone that I like at all, so she's very difficult to root for. And at this point, I'm kind of the opinion that maybe the two of these people actually deserve each other, so there's that. Yeah, having an unlikable main character is not something that usually always means I'm not going to like a book, but it is very difficult for me to root for her, and I think we are supposed to do that. So yeah, this one's interesting. There are 2 POVs. I'm not really going to get into any more details than that, but yeah, it's fine. It's a quick read. At least the audio has been very quick, and as I said, I'll finish it tonight. So I'm probably only going to give this, at least right now, maybe a 3-star rating, but we'll see. The last, little section of this could really knock my socks off, and then I will eat my words and change my rating. But right now I'm kind of thinking 3. This is definitely one of my least favorite adult thrillers by her that I have read, because I've also read her other 3 and I did like those more. So that is my thought on that. As I said, I will give you full ratings and things once this is done, but it should be done tonight. So that will start off the month pretty well. It is Wednesday, October 2nd. So yeah, if I could already have one book done by the 2nd, that would be great. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to talk about. I did have, as I mentioned, physical therapy tonight. I also put in an order for a new pair of shoes. So they're these ones. They are from Skechers. I am having a difficult time finding shoes that fit really well over my left foot, which is the foot that I had surgery on, because it is more swollen as it's healing, so the swelling is to be expected, but it does make getting shoes on kind of difficult. I tried on a black pair just like this at the store. They didn't have the white ones in stock in my size, and they fit well, so I'm hoping the white ones will do the same and I can have another pair of shoes to kind of flip between, because my other ones are looking pretty nasty because I've had them for a while and I was only wearing the right one for a while, so that one is more dirty than the left. It's a whole thing, but they are a little tight around the left foot, so I'm hoping that these will work better. So I did get those in the mail. Other than that, I've got nothing else to share. I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking, get back to the audio of this, and finish this book off tonight. So I will see you with an update probably tomorrow. Hello all, happy Saturday. I have a reading update. I did finish The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I finished this on, what day was that? Tuesday, I guess? Wednesday? I can't quite remember. Wednesday, I think. And I was kind of disappointed with this one. This one was not nearly as good as the other books that I've read by her. Even the other book that I gave the same rating as this one was better. There was just something about this one that didn't really work for me personally. So I feel like the setting of this book was just not done correctly. If you're wanting like the gothic atmospheric vibes, then setting your story in a suburb of Birmingham in a neighborhood of McMansions and having your story take place all the time during the daytime is probably not the way to go. So the setting for this did not work for me. I did not have the vibes that I was expecting from something that is a Jane Eyre and Rebecca retelling. I think I mentioned before, to me, this leans way more in the Rebecca realm than it does the Jane Eyre realm, aside from the names of the characters. But yeah, I'm giving this one 3 stars. It was quick to get through. There's nothing wrong with it, but for me, I just was expecting more from the whole setup. So yeah, so this one is done. This is my first book of October. 3 stars, definitely a disappointment. This is on my 24 2024, so at least that's done, but I definitely wanted more from it. I have also started reading Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. This is also on my 24 and 2024, and I was saving it specifically for spooky season. I am almost done with this. I have just the tiniest bit left, so I'm going to finish this off physically while I have my coffee, and then I will come back and talk with you about it. I can see why this book is so divisive, because I feel like the biggest issue that I'm having with this is that I just feel like nothing's happening. And I also find the main character pretty insufferable, which was a complaint I also had with the wife upstairs. So maybe reading these back to back was not the best plan, but these are the 2 audiobooks that I had out from my library, so I wanted to go ahead and tackle them both this first week. So yeah, I do not know what rating I'm gonna give this, but I can definitely see why some people absolutely hate it. And I can also see why people really like it. I'm just not sure where I ultimately fall with this. So I'll let you know once I've finished this. If you are unfamiliar with Catherine House, we are following a girl named Inez who attends Catherine House, which is like a university, but it's not like normal schools. Definitely dark academia vibes. There's a lot of questions that you are introduced to as the book goes on, and honestly not a lot of answers. So that's kind of something that I personally am finding frustrating, seeing how little of the book I have left, and the fact that there are questions that have remained unanswered is probably what's going to ultimately decide my rating, because I really hate that unless there's like a point, a reason for that, like we're gonna get a sequel or something like that. So yeah, it's been fine. I don't know how well I would be getting through this physically, so I'm glad I have the audio. I did read a few portions of this physically just to like finish off chapters and things like that, but yeah, can definitely see why this one is divisive. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off, and I will come back and talk with you about it once I have. My other plans for today are to finish the 32nd Nancy Drew book, which is the Satin Slipper Mystery. I started that in last week's vlog but didn't finish it, so I want to actually finish that off today and then hopefully squeeze one more book in tomorrow. So that's kind of the goal for the remainder of this vlog. As I mentioned, it is already Saturday, so didn't do a whole lot of updating throughout the week, but these were the only 2 books that I was working on, so you didn't miss any other books. So yeah, that's that. Let me finish this, kind of put my thoughts together to hopefully give like a decent review, and then I'll work on Nancy Drew. Otherwise, on the schedule, I want to play a little bit of The Sims 4. They're doing this like Reaper event to lead up to their new expansion pack release, and I started it but didn't get very far, so I kind of want to play a little bit more on that, and maybe some Animal Crossing. And that's kind of it. This is going to be a very lazy Saturday because this was a long week of work, and I definitely need kind of to just recover a little bit and rest. So Once I have my thoughts figured out on this, I will come back and share them with you and also let you know how the Nancy Drew book is going. So I will see you then. Happy Sunday, y'all. I did finish Catherine House, as I mentioned, and it took me a bit to settle on a rating, but I am ultimately giving this 3 stars, which makes me a bit of an outlier because this book is definitely one that either has like 5-star ratings or 1-star ratings. For me, it just falls in the middle. I had things I really, really liked about this book, and then I had things that I did not. So let's chat a little bit about it. My likes of this book were definitely the atmosphere. You have a very isolated location in this school where no one comes in or out. You have a very insular group of characters who spend every waking moment together. And you have the twisting pathways that connect all of the buildings of the school, where even in their final year, people are still getting lost and finding new rooms. So the setting and the vibes were immaculate in this one. My complaint is that it just needed more plot. I found the main character, Inez, to be quite insufferable. The book reads kind of like a fever dream because Inez spends a lot of the time drunk and having sex with random people. So it's like a haze of alcohol and sex, and I didn't love her. And I ultimately didn't love that in the end, there were not enough answers, which I mentioned already. So to me, that equates to 3 stars. I liked some things, I disliked some things. 3 stars seems like a good rating, but I'm definitely the outlier because most people either love or hate this. So Catherine House is done. This was on my Escape the Corn Maze TBR for a TBR vet with CAT in the title. So we can check that one off. As for the Nancy Drew book, I have not finished it yet, but I did get to 50% of the book. Yesterday, after I finished Catherine House, I played The Sims 4, as I mentioned. I caught up on the Reaper Rewards event of what's been released, and then I just kind of spent some time listening to some music, watching some TV, doing some online jigsaw puzzles. So I didn't actually start reading Nancy Drew again till like 7:30 at night, and then I just kind of stopped when I hit the halfway point. So I will finish that today. This one is interesting. So typically at the halfway point in the book, you have some answers to some of what's going on with Nancy's overall mystery, and I feel like we have not really had that as of yet in this one. There are still a lot of unknowns and unanswered questions. So this one is about a pair of siblings who teach at a ballet school in River Heights, which is Nancy's city, and they are receiving threatening letters. So Nancy takes it upon herself to kind of try to figure out who is sending the threatening letters and to keep the siblings safe. The siblings have immigrated to the US from a made-up communist country called Centrovia. So she is currently hiding the siblings as she tries to sort things out. This one is written by a male author. Carolyn Keene is a pseudonym, so multiple authors have written these books. This one's written by a male author, and I'm wondering if that's why Ned has played more of a role, because he has definitely been much more prevalent in this book than he has in others. And Bess and George also have been a little bit more prevalent in this one. So it's kind of been a nice cast of characters rather than focusing just on Nancy. And as I said, while we know who the villains are, we do not know their motivations yet. So it's very interesting that I'm halfway through and I still haven't really figured out what's going on. That usually does not happen with Nancy Drew books. So I'm hoping that the second half will be just as interestingly written, and maybe this one will actually get higher than my typical 3-star. We'll see. So that is the update on that. I will be finishing that today. I need to run and get groceries, so that is what I'm gonna do first. While I am doing that, and while I was getting ready this morning, I did start listening to the audio of Radium Girls by Kate Moore. This was supposed to be read in like June and July, I think. It was my nonfiction book for those 2 months, and obviously it is October and I have not read it yet. I just started it. I'm only in the middle of chapter 4, but this is about the women who worked in a factory painting watch faces with radium-based paint. and the fallout of that, because when radium was first discovered, it was touted as this like cure-all, so nobody thought it was dangerous, and of course we know now that it very much is. The first chapter kind of recounted everything that they put radium in, and it's a lot. Let me see if I can just find that section. Okay, so yeah, it says, radium had been a magnificent cure-all treating not just cancer, but hay fever, gout, constipation, anything you could think of. Pharmacists sold radioactive dressings and pills. There were also radium clinics and spas for those who could afford it. It says it was thought that it could restore vitality to the elderly, and it's in literally everything. Like, people drink it. Yeah, wealthy customers drank it as a tonic. Here's the section where it mentions like what else you could buy. It's crazy. It says on sale were radium jockstraps and lingerie, radium butter, radium milk, radium toothpaste, guaranteeing a brighter smile, and even a range of radium-based cosmetics. So it's like face cream, soap, rouge, compact powders, bug sprayers, which were supposed to be safe for humans but deadly to insects. It is nuts, everything that they put radium into without really realizing what radium did, because at this point nothing had been released regarding like the dangers of it. It's just insane. So anyway, it's been very interesting so far. Definitely reads kind of like a fiction book. There are some photographs like towards the middle, so I'll take a look at those, but I'm not going to finish this in this vlog by any means. I have like 8 hours left of the audiobook or something, but I'm going to poke at this throughout this month as I have like some time where maybe I finished an audiobook and have a little bit of a break before I need to start another one, because I've kind of laid out when I need to read each audiobook. I will be starting a different one tomorrow for the next vlog, because heads up for that one, a little bit of a spoiler, I am going to be doing the Escape the Haunted House readathon from TBR Harvest in that vlog. So I have other books I want to read for that. So I will be poking at this kind of throughout the month, and when I finish it, I will give some overall thoughts. But I'm definitely enjoying it so far, and even though we're not too far into it, we're definitely starting to see some of the fallout of the girls basically putting this radium paint in their mouths to like make a fine tip on their paintbrush. Although nothing as of yet has come out about that. So I have started this, as I have already said. You'll hear about this maybe throughout the month in other vlogs, and I will give some final thoughts once I finish. But that's the audiobook I'm currently listening to today. I'm gonna stop talking. I need to head out and get groceries, and then I'm gonna come back and work on the Nancy Drew book to finish that off. So that will be what you see in this vlog. Hopefully I can get a little bit of B-roll footage, make this a little bit more interesting, and then we'll just see how the Nancy Drew book turns out. I'm kind of excited that it already feels a little bit different than the usual Nancy Drews, so that is a bonus. Hello all, happy Monday. I'm going to quickly close out this week's vlog and let you know my final rating for the 32nd Nancy Drew book. As I have already said, felt this one was just different than the previous ones, and thankfully that did carry through the end of the book. Now obviously you have to suspend your sense of disbelief with these books a lot of the time, but I did give this one 4 stars. I had a really good time with it. I feel like it was just different enough that it was very refreshing, because I have read a number of Nancy Drews like in a row now, so this one felt different, and that was a lot of fun. It definitely kept me guessing until the end, and the way everything kind of came together was a bit rushed, but I did ultimately like the overall story and enjoyed it quite a bit. So yeah, 4 stars for that one, as I anticipated it might be. So get to end this vlog on a happy note. That means that I have read 3 books so far in October. The Wife Upstairs, which was disappointing, 3 stars. Catherine House, which I don't want to call disappointing because I didn't have very high expectations going into it, so 3 stars for that one. And then of course the Scarlet Slipper Mystery was 4 stars. So 3 books down. Lots more to go. In the upcoming vlog for next week, I will be trying to accomplish the Escape the Haunted House game, which is part of TBR Harvest, so you can stay tuned for that. But otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. I think for the emoji for this week, you can give me a house emoji. Both of these have something to do with a house, so we'll go with house. And I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.